Well, good morning, everyone. I'm not doing a formal live stream this morning, but welcome anyway. I'm Roy Potter, and it is the 27th of February, 2020. And like I said on Tuesday, if you're following me at all, if you were there on that particular live stream, I'm getting really disgusted. I have so much respect for people that can continue on and report this nonsense as we see it and this ridiculous activity at our federal and state government levels and internationally as well, that can keep doing it and stay stalwart in it. Good morning as you come in again. Hopefully you can hear me okay. I'm doing this on my phone. I didn't even feel like setting up the studio this morning. So at any rate, I don't know really that I want to say a whole lot other than what I just said. I'm just thoroughly disgusted with everything. Uh, First of all, of course, the coronavirus situation, COVID 19. If you listen to President Trump's presser last night, I wasn't impressed. The guy looked like he has a deer in the headlights. He stumbled around. He's not a medical doctor. I don't expect him to, but he's either getting bad advice or else he's trying to do something else. I really don't know. I've lost a lot of faith in Trump over the last little while. Of course, I'm on again, off again with that all the time. Uh, but regardless, he doesn't need to throw, millions and billions of dollars at the coronavirus. That's not what he needs to do. What he needs to do is to tell the people the truth. Maybe he doesn't know it. No, I doubt that. He needs to tell the people what's really going on here. And let me give you a little background information. I covered this some time ago. You remember back in 2013 during the Sandy Hook thing, and I brought this up before, that the Chinese tested our electronic defenses and they brought a submarine in just off the coast of California and fired a missile. They also did the same thing to the USS Fitzgerald, and there was another ship that they did that to. In other words, they're testing us. We may have responded in some way, but apparently our countermeasures weren't very good. I'm not saying that they deliberately attacked us. As a matter of fact, I think that they probably wouldn't want to do that. But remember, China is the tool, is one of the arms of what we refer to as the New World Order, especially people like Soros and Clinton and Obama, etc. So whatever and however this particular thing got released, it has done exactly what it was intended to do: kill people, make them sick, interrupt the supply chains, and also make it so that our attempts to restore our liberties and the constitutional republic, those attempts are interrupted. By the way, this is caramel cream. I always tell you that, don't I? So it's not money that Trump needs to throw at this, because what they're going to do, of course, and there's already, I think it was the Last Refuge that's already pointed this out. Certain aspects of the Patriot Act are coming back in, are due for renewal. And there are those that don't want to renew them, and rightly so. But there are those who do, like Schumer and, of course, the intelligence community. And they're not spying on terrorists. You are the terrorist in their eyes. You are. You're who they're afraid of. They're not afraid of Al Qaeda or the drug cartels or ISIS. No, they're afraid that you're going to take their power away from them. That's what they're afraid of. You are the terrorist. If you haven't figured that out yet, you're off in some la-la land somewhere. This bill is to protect them in their criminality and in their destruction of our country. And what they're going to do is Trump's going to lose guts again because he's tied the stock market to his restoration of America, which was a stupid ass thing to do to begin with, because he doesn't control that. And second of all, and it doesn't really mean that much. It's already dropped, what, 2,000 points this week, maybe more. I don't know how it's looking this morning. But they're going to tie the renewal of this Patriot Act to a funding bill for his coronavirus battle. And he's going to be forced to extend the Patriot Act. Do you see how this works? You know what I would do if I were him? I'd say, screw that. And he should go on television and he should direct everyone to start taking the necessary precautions. Okay? That's what needs to happen. We have all the money we need to take care of this anyway. I mean, this is ridiculous. He will not say what it is. Oh, Roy, you don't know it's a bioweapon. Oh, Roy, you don't know it's deadly. I can watch economic reports. I'm not an economist, but I can sure see the supply chains are getting interrupted. I have friends in the business of selling products that come from China, and they can't get the products. Duh. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether the COVID-19 alone can make you sick and kill you, or if it's the 5G that isn't everywhere where COVID-19 is showing up anyway. But the 5G is an enhancer. It's what they call a force multiplier. That's the term I was trying to remember the other day. The fact of the matter is, this is a problem, and it's going to get worse. Limbaugh come out and say, oh, it's just a cold virus. Well, it was a cold virus. It was. Operative term, was. Yes, layoffs are already starting to happen. I know. Sorry, I'm slurping. That's hot. So, I was really disturbed by Trump's bad performance last night, and that's what I'm calling it, a bad performance. He's not convincing me that he's in control. As a matter of fact, he's never been in control of any damn thing. He's too timid. He lets us rush his stuff. And I hear all the excuses, okay? I hear all the excuses. Durham's report. I was bantering back and forth with Rich Higgins this morning on Twitter about that. And I'm not going to make my list of my concerns about why I don't think anything's happening, but that nothing but a report is coming. Because it's really there to see. I've talked about, Epstein was the big barometer, that showing you how competent or how conspiratorial Barr is in all this. I mean, his words were wonderful. I loved his speech the other day, where he was saying that the left is, this monolithic, what did he call it? Monolithic, I forget the term he used, but at any rate, ideology, idolatry, whatever it is he was saying there. Oh, he says some great words, but again, the actions don't follow the words. They just never do with these people. The Republicans, by and large, are nothing more than the boys that pet the Democrats. Keep them happy. And why that is? Because they're all in on it. Now, I had an individual contact me yesterday, and he said, Roy, why don't you stop complaining about the government? Why don't you stop giving the bad news? Why don't you just start telling people the things that you really understand? And I don't know, what? And he goes, look, I know a few people that can put together the religious, spiritual, historical, political aspects of all this like you do. So why don't you start telling people what they can do, the good things that they can do? Go ahead and explain the intricacies of all of this, but then just go ahead and say, look, there's nothing we can do to stop it. And I've said it before, this is the wicked destroying the wicked. Trump's just on the other competition. He's not for us. He's not for the Constitution. He's not for a restoration of the Republic. He's not to stop immigration. He's not stopping the killing babies. He's not stopping selling body parts of innocents. He's done none of that. He doesn't give a crap, or he wouldn't have funded 500,000 or $500 million of Planned Parenthood. We wouldn't have this immigration problem. He'd say, "To hell with you, courts. I'm going to take this action. Period." Oh, the courts stop him. Yes, judicial supremacy. No, 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 no. It's time to take off the gloves. But he's not, and he's not going to. If you watched him last night, he looked like he had been defeated, and in a lot of ways, he has been. So anyway, what am I going to do? Like I say, I'm a broken record. I've been saying that, several times. I've stopped this because I feel like a freaking broken record. But that's where we are today. And what can I say that you need to do? Well, it really is true. You need to have some of you probably already have. We all need to have a change in our hearts and minds, and open our eyes and our ears. And we're going to have to take action ourselves. We've got to stop, as this person pointed out, we've got to stop depending upon Trump or anybody else in that criminal, wicked, evil government doing anything, because they're not. So you're on your own. And I don't know how else I can say this. No, voting for Bernie's not going to fix anything. I'm not saying that. Those kinds of insane statements, Denti, are what put us here where we are. If you're not willing to call somebody out because they're on your side, you might as well put a gun to your head and pull the trigger. So that's why I didn't want to do a real formal presentation this morning. I just thought, what the hell. So all I can say is you better treat this coronavirus situation, this COVID-19, seriously. You better start making your preparations. Yes, it might be a binary weapon, as I explained before, and that the 5G somehow is an enhancer or force multiplier, but you can't depend on that being the case. All right, you just can't. Not to have the courage to come out and tell people that the world has been attacked by a bioweapon. Oh, we can't panic the population. We can't do that. Who makes these decisions? Who says that the country's going to panic? Oh yeah, there might be a run on the banks like it was in Contagion. There might be a run on the grocery stores, but that's going to happen anyway. Give the people that should survive, the people that are smart enough, the ones that Darwin isn't going to select because of their stupidity, help those people to make it through this thing by telling them the truth. But no, they're not going to do that, and neither is Trump. I get off my lawn, tinfoil. You mean change my channel to that? That's funny. Yeah, you're good. I like that. Sometimes you and I bash heads, but I like your comments. Edelson James, a run on 7-Eleven for Slurpees. Yeah. Well, you can see my disgust this morning. I thought that was one of the worst presentations I've ever seen in my life last night. And he's got this thing, Mohsen Ye or whatever her name is, who's Rod Rosenstein's sister in the CDC, saying how bad it is. And then people like some people I really highly respect coming back and saying, oh, this is just so they can attack Trump. It's not as bad as that. This is just to make him look bad. What is wrong with you people when it's your... I see you saying the right things sometimes, and then something like this happens, and all of a sudden, you're your guy to the point of stupidity. I don't understand this. Are you put there as placebo, as our friends until your trigger comes where you're supposed to take the opposite side and not call the truth out? What's wrong here? Michael Cernovich, I know a lot of you have a problem with him, and yes, he's Jewish. I know. Now, he's got his idiosyncrasies. He's got his pet peeves, but he's right about this. He's right about this coronavirus thing. This is going to be Trump's Katrina, either by design or as a victim. One of the two. Okay, I see. I saw somebody say Zionist, not Jewish, and I do understand the difference. Okay, I do. Some people don't. Edelson's not a bot. Edelson's not a bot. Okay, that's really all I had for you. I'm upset that they're going to tie the Patriot Act renewal to the coronavirus funding, and that's not necessary. We don't need coronavirus funding. That's not what's needed. We need information. We need the American people to be able to take this and stand on their own, and they can do it very easily. I predict, I predict that there is going to be a badge of mourning on every home because of this stupidity. Okay, if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's an old term from back in the 1800s. There's going to be a badge of mourning. Everybody's going to suffer from this. Everybody's going to lose someone at this point. That's the way it's looking to me. And I'm not saying it's reversible, but I am saying that there are other precautions that could be taken. But the stock market is more important than you being alive. The stock market is so much more important. Our money trading is so much more important than getting real goods on the ground, than taking care of ourselves, and knowing that if you're eating GMO, you're probably going to help this coronavirus take you out. Lies and deceptions. Ladies and gentlemen, we're living in the age of lies and deception. I've called that before. So, yeah, Trump is all about money, and money doesn't fix everything. It definitely does not. Yeah, older people, finest planet. It's pretty much targeting, from what we can see, older people and Oriental males. But that could change. It could be designed to mutate at a certain place. These people are way ahead of the power curve on genetics, and we now know. We were saying we thought it was from that Chinese spy in China. Well, apparently it came from the United States. As it sits right now, and I've heard other people call for this, every bioengineer out there, including Bill Gates, who funds it, should be arrested because this is mad science stuff. It turns out that, all those stories of the mad scientists in 007 and in Austin Powers and all that turned out to be true, didn't they? Yeah. So that's really all I wanted to say this morning, how upset I am that the Indian thing, I explained on a Twitter tweet that, taking China out with the trade sanctions and all that stuff may have started this war. But remember, again, you got to look at China as the military arm, as the other arm of people like Hillary and Obama, who would use it to strike back. And so India would be nice to replace China in the manufacturing of things overseas, but wouldn't it be better just to bring all of our manufacturing home? Remember, and I talked about it a year ago, Trump put out that thing where he said if you're, the work visas, and they were bringing Indians in, and then our people would have to train their replacements. Well, that's still going on. You tell me how that's America first. Words do not match the actions, and I've been saying that since the day Trump said that he wasn't going to go after Hillary because the Clintons are good people. Ever since then, I've gone, uh-oh. Yes, I've been wavering up and down. I keep praying that he's going to wake up and that he's going to be consistent. But ladies and gentlemen, I said this once, Trump took an oath, not just to the Constitution. He took it before God, and he took it before us. Whether he did it tongue-in-cheek, or whether it was a deception, or whether he meant to do the right thing and has since been turned, I don't give a damn. All right? The fact is, he's mocked God, and he's mocked his oaths, and he's mocked us who have stood by him on this thing, or tried to. I get so disturbed by the cheerleaders, and I'm not going to name any, but there are a lot of them out there that Trump can't do anything wrong. My president, my Trump. I'm not going to say any more of the phrases they use because I identify who they are. Good people otherwise, but they just don't get it. What's the bottom line? you are on your own. We're no longer going to depend on these people. Okay? You can't. That's the bottom line. But getting back on Trump, he took these oaths. He has deliberately attacked the First, Second, and Fourth Amendments at a minimum. At a minimum. Yes, attack them. So, and failing to act is a form of an attack. It's a passive attack. Because what does he say? Oh, I can't do anything about it. The courts, the states. I don't know what to do. Yeah. So what are we seeing here? I'm going to tell you another story that I told you once before. The first one, actually two of them. The first one is Saul. Saul turned on God and Saul died. His throne was taken from him and everything he had was given to David. Remember that story? Another story. David did something that he was told not to do. He was told not to number Israel. In other words, to count the males in Israel. He was told not to do that. And there was a reason for it. It's actually kind of like, people wonder why. I'll tell you why. Because it's doubting God, number one. Because remember, Gideon fought with just a few men compared to the thousands he had. God had him whittle it down so that God could take the praise. And I'm not doing this from just a nonsensical point of view, pragmatic too. So you'll see that in a minute. There's another reason, and it's because it's called operational security. You don't want to know the enemy, let the enemy know what your strength is. How stupid is that? So he was told not to number Israel, and he did it. And what happened? He violated his oath to God and to the people. You see the parallel I'm making here? And a plague came and started killing the people of his own kingdom. And the plague did not stop until he repented. Now, just take God out of this whole thing, okay? Just take God out of the whole thing. Let's look at it from a cause and effect deal, all right? You had Trump say that it was America first. We're going to get out of the wars. We're going to stop paying. We're going to do what we can to get rid of the Federal Reserve. That's going to take some time too, of course, right? We're going to drain the swamp. We're going to stop. We're going to stop immigration. We're not going to allow the boarding of babies, beyond a certain. It should never happen at all, but at some point, and certainly not have them killed after they're born. Do you realize that 41 senators voted to not give life-saving medical care to a baby that's survived an abortion? Did you see that yesterday? And you wonder why this plague is upon us? And by the way, almost all of the prophecies in the Bible about plagues and about destruction, God doesn't bring them. He tells you that if you don't abide by your oaths, your covenants, the golden rule, whatever, if you don't stop the killing of babies, passing your children through Molech, etc., he'll withdraw his support, his defense of you, and your enemies can come in and take you. That's what happens. So what's happened here is our arrogance, the arrogance of our leaders and the criminality and the corruption of our leaders have allowed this coronavirus, this bioweapon, to be released. Because you see, man's destruction that's prophesied in the Bible will always come by his own hand. Always. That's how it works. These are evil people. Why even have bioweapons? Why? Oh, because, we're going to make vaccines. Wrong. Oh, we've got to have the bioweapon because they have it. I'm done giving Trump any quarter, okay? Until we see these, some of the 302s coming out now that are declassified, we're finding out. Look what the FBI did. Okay, I'm giving that to Trump. Okay, he's showing the corruption, but we're going down the tubes, ladies and gentlemen. They've unleashed another attack, and that's what this coronavirus is. It's going to throw everything into chaos, just like it's starting to. And that's only the first wave. And if that doesn't work, they'll do another thing. Monty on October Rains monograph talked about the seven seals. I'm not sure we're quite to that point, but we might be, because sometimes these things are, like I said, they're actually what men are doing in their struggles to become God. Yeah, I'm a little worked up this morning. Yeah, they'll do something else, of course. Bioweapons are, we've talked about the possibility of them deploying bioweapons to stop this resurgence of national identity and the perfect law of liberty. We've talked about them using bioweapons to do that because it's the perfect storm. You kill people, you bring in martial law, you have more surveillance like you're seeing happen in China. Um, they're going to tie the Patriot Act to any funding to fight the coronavirus. You see how this works? These people are evil, ladies and gentlemen, and all the things that they do are to secure their own power. Uh, I saw a thing the other day, and I'm sure there's a lot to it. As a matter of fact, I know it is because we've talked about the shadow government for a long time. The continuity of government was formed, and the executive order that Obama signed prior to leaving office about the changing of the of the administrations gave cover for a lot of people in the Obama ring, the people who were trying to take down our constitutional republic and our perfect law of liberty, gave them the cover to do this coup. Well, there are legal and military ways around that, not to mention the fact that an executive order can be wiped out by another executive order, but we see no action there. So anyway, I could keep rambling this morning. I don't mean to do that. Like I said, I'm not going to do a formal presentation, but I've already gone almost a half hour, so I'm going to not. Yeah, plausible deniability. Yeah, he could use the Insurrection Act, but see, he's going along with what they're telling. He's going along. He's saying, yeah, no, I won't do that because oh, this, that. Barr's not giving him any information on the legal aspects, but he doesn't need it. All he's got to do is read Article 2. That's all he's got to do. Read Article 2 and then act. But you know what? He doesn't, because I'm thoroughly convinced that he's going along with this, whether by force or by choice. So, take some time, try to reconnect to the spiritual side. I'm not going to say that, Edelson. I'm not going to say that. Reconnect to the spiritual side. Try to see what it is that you and your family need to do to get ready. And some of us have a better means of doing that than others, but do what you can, because doing what you can is what's important. The wicked will destroy the wicked. I've said that for a long time. I was hoping that maybe there would be a land of refuge, that the United States would stand up and be the leader in the perfect law of liberty and really truly defend the perfect law of liberty, but it's not going to. It's not going to. It's going the way of all nations. You can see it in our own government. The wicked are attacking the wicked. The two competing sides of control and power that I've been talking about. That Trump isn't the savior for the constitutional republic or for the perfect law of liberty. He's just using it. He's just using it as a way to garner support. He rode that wave. That's all that's happened here. And I know he talked about the problems in the government back when he was on Oprah Winfrey back in the 80s, and all these different people that asked him if he's going to run for office. And I just go back to the same old thing, ladies and gentlemen. Actions speak louder than words. He's letting babies be killed and their organs taken. He's doing nothing about it. As a matter of fact, he signed a bill funding it. We're going down. We're going down. Remember the story of David. What the leader did brought a plague upon the people. I'm not just saying it's the coronavirus. I'm saying we're going to be hit with a wave of these things because God's withdrawn his protection. That's all I've got this morning, okay? I'm not going to rehash all the others. I see somebody putting up here that Trump is for Israel. Yeah, he's stronger for Israel than he is for us. And it's because he doesn't understand the real truth of the matter. And I'm not just talking about Zionism. I'm talking about he's probably never read the Bible, just like he's probably never read the Constitution. He doesn't know what's in there. He's listening to somebody else. Kushner, maybe. I don't know. But he doesn't know shit. He doesn't know shit. I'm not a biologist. I'm not a medical doctor. I was an Army officer and a police officer. I was in the security fields, plus some other things. But you know what? I was in pre-med prior to, I'll tell you the story. I was in pre-med. I took almost all the pre-med courses, and I was doing very well until I got to biochemistry. And I'll tell you what, that professor, it was a washout course, and they had their target on me because I am not a rote memorizing type of guy. I've got to be able to connect things. And it was a rote memorization of carbon chain molecules, and I couldn't do it. And I had to drop the class. And then I went to my counselor and I said, what can I do? And he says, well, you could switch over to law. You can get a bachelor's degree in law. And I said, okay, well, let's do that. And I was in ROTC, so I figured I'd just take a little time off, get my degree in law, and then go back and retake that biochem course and get back to being pre-med. Well, the Army would have nothing to do with it. As soon as I got enough to graduate, they wanted me commissioned and out in the field. So. At any rate, so I didn't do that, but I do know enough about medicine. I became an EMT. I took EMT courses. I was, working around medical stuff for a long time, and I know the basics. And of course, I had the bioweapon or the CBR NBC training in the Army, and I can recognize an attack when there is one. So you don't have to be a brain surgeon to understand what's happening. I think Trump's stupid, actually. I'm beginning to think he is the moron that I've often called him. He's an idiot savant when it comes to his construction. He's never read the Bible. He's never read the Constitution, but he'll get up there and he'll talk about God and about our, going to restore us, and, he's going to take care of our Second Amendment, all while it's being destroyed. All those things. It just doesn't make any sense anymore. I'm sorry. I'm not going with it. I'm not going to put up. Until I see a D class that's made public, until I see people perp walked with handcuffs on, I don't think anything's going to happen. Okay? And I don't trust him until he does. And right now, whether he's on a good side for us or whether he's nothing more than just competing as a wicked man against other wicked men, either way it goes, okay? If we don't see arrests, if we don't see this thing turn around, we all better be ready. That's all I got. Thanks for coming, everybody. There's enough information out there right now that action should be taken against these false 302s, all the things that were done in the FISA court, et cetera, et cetera. There's no reason to say a report is coming in spring or summer. A report. Rich Higgins this morning says, no, Durham's an attorney, a U.S. attorney. He's going to have an indictment. That's what he does. I agree, Rich, and I imagine you're probably watching this. I agree, but Barr is the controlling mechanism here. And as I pointed out before, Durham didn't go as far as he could in the Whitey Bulger case because of Reno. He will abide by the stakes set up for him by Barr. He will. And I'm not sure Durham's a good guy anyway. He's in Connecticut, and I have a lot of problems with Connecticut. Okay. We'll see you later, everybody. That's all I'm going to do today, all right? Thanks a lot for coming. See you next time.